This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17, is that the Spirit has been on me to focus and continue to talk about these blackouts that are happening and are going to happen even more frequently. Okay? Reports are coming in how there are independent agencies complaining to organizations that they need to stop resurrecting these data centers because it's not reliable for the grid. Okay? And the grid is being oversaturated, being abused. All right, the power is being consumed by these data centers, okay, which is causing electrical bills to skyrocket. Okay, even Fox News had to do a report on the rise of energy costs and how a lot of Americans are getting their power shut off. Okay, thanks to, once again, why is this happening? Thanks to these data centers. Okay, thanks to Esau, Edom, starting with the elites. Okay, but for some reason, Genesis says that they can be saved. All right, you clowns sold out. PowerPoint ninjas. So the Spirit's been on me to talk more and more about, okay, the power going out. I came across this article today. I read it, and it put the Spirit on me to do a lesson. That's why I brought out Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17, because, hey, we hear the prophets of Great Millstone through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem El Shai. We're here to warn our people to get the blood off our hands, all right? Okay? That's why what a prophet is set up, all right? To warn, to prophesy, all right, things that are going to come to pass, like a blackout, like rolling blackouts. Okay, so now let's get into this article. No more PJM data centers unless they can be reliably served. Market monitor. All right, so now let's pull some some keywords to get some understanding. So what is a market monitor? Okay. A market monitor for electrical grid is an independent entity that oversees wholesale electricity markets to ensure they are competitive, efficient, and fair for customers and participants, right? So these data centers that are being resurrected, okay, are not being fair, all right, for the everyday customers, okay? Because once again, the electricity bill keeps going up because these data centers are pulling a lot of electricity, all right? To a point that now you're going to have, okay, these organizations that oversee the power grid start to determine who gets power and who doesn't. once again, rolling blackouts are coming. Okay? So, and this is, again, the market monitor is filed a complaint to the Federal Agency Regulatory Commission. Okay? They filed a complaint regarding PJM. Now, who is PJM? PJM stands for Pennsylvania, Jersey, Maryland Interconnection. Okay? They are a regional transmission organization. They oversee, okay, the power grid, the electricity markets, the wholesale electricity. All right, they're the ones that determine the price for their customers every year, and again, they're allowing these data centers to be resurrected up, okay, in the area that they manage, and that's why the electricity bill keeps going up. I mean, look what Fox, and then this Fox is so fucking snaky. You know, they got this clown. And this is why you got to be circumspect, man. You got to be sober and vigilant, all right? Because this devil is evil, man, all right? He'll do these little short clips and talk about how bad things are getting with the price of electricity going up, but they're never letting you know the root cause, okay? They never let you know the root cause, that it's these data centers. But let me play a little bit just to show you what all right, that the electricity bill is going up.
More Americans are being left in the dark as soaring electricity prices trigger power shutoffs nationwide. Just in New York City alone, there has been over 111,000 shutoffs so far this year. 14 million Americans are facing debt collections because of their utility bills, and the average overdue balance is nearly $800, up 32% since just 3 years ago.
Right, because of these data centers, okay? And so things are getting more expensive. Blame, all right, the elites, all right, these Edomites. But Genesis says that they can be saved as long as they repent. No, salvation is for the Israelites, plain. The Israelites need to be saved from this hell, okay?
Let's bring in energy economist and executive director of NEADA, Mark Wolf. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today. Talk to us about this landscape.
Oh, that's the spirit. Look, the saints. The saint. Ooh, right? Who are the saints? Who are the saints? It ain't no Edomites. Hey, lessons within lessons. I just saw that. We got to bring it out. We got to bring it out. Okay. What is it? Psalm. Was it 148? Yep. Psalm chapter 148, verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel. So now we know who the saints are. The children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord. Right, Yahweh. Back to the basics, man. Back to the basics. Okay? All praise and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So those are the saints. Okay? The saints are the Israelites. They are the only ones that the Lord is saving. Okay? Period. Starting with the elect. But ultimately, all Israel shall be saved. That's why we say, see you on the other side. You'll get it. All right? You'll be in your right mind on the other side in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? So, that was, I didn't even notice that. That's all spiritual right there. The saints. Okay?
That is terrifying.
Well, electric prices are up. We're almost at record levels. These are the highest prices we've seen in 10 years. Since January, the cost of electricity has gone up almost 10%. In this winter, the average bill for families who use electricity, for example, to heat their home, could be about $100 more than last year. This comes on top of higher summer cooling costs. So families are getting hit with both seasons now. It used to just be...
Again, notice he's never saying it's the data centers, it's the data centers, it's the data centers, okay? These data centers have been resurrected up, okay? Even before Trump came in, okay? Even before Trump came in, they were building these data centers, okay? It's just Trump was set to sell it, okay? AI Genesis and big beautiful bill. But these data centers have been being built, okay, for quite some time.
Be an expensive winter. Now we have an expensive winter and expensive summer.
What breaks my heart and adds to this tragedy exponentially are the deaths associated with this. And
this bitch ain't sad. What breaks my heart? No, you're not. You don't give a fuck, man. Okay? This is all theater. They don't give a fuck. Okay? These are there's a book. I forgot the book, but I got the terminology from it. They're known as the prostitutes. Okay? Let me see if the prostitutes. Prostitutes. Meaning. Prostitute, the derogatory term portamete of press and prostitute, used to describe a journalist or media outlet that provides biased news tailored to a particular agenda rather than reporting impartially. Right. Okay? Instead of being fair and balanced, all right, they are biased because they sold out for the green, for the money. Okay? The term suggests that the individual entity sells out the integrity of journalism for money, political gain, or other external pressures. Exactly. Okay, sometimes, what's it called? Sometimes they're threatened. Hey, you better report this or your family gets clipped. Okay? But most of the time, it's for money and political gain. Okay? The origin of the word is a blend of press and prostitute, with some sources crediting its coinage of American researcher Gerald Celente, while others note its earlier use by columnist Walter Winchell in the 1940s. Yeah, so these are prostitutes, so she doesn't give a damn. Okay? It breaks my heart. Bullshit, man. All right? Never trust thy enemy. The scriptures say that. Though he come humbling, right? Let's get that. Lessons within lessons. Okay? They always put some bimbo up there, all right, to ease the pain on the American sheeple. Okay? All facts, but they're going to skip over this. Here we go. This is the book of Sirach, also known as the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is wickedness. Right. And his wickedness is being shown. Okay? If you can't see that this man is the devil, all right, then, all right, you weren't meant to see. You were blinded for the nukes. You were blinded to be destroyed by the nukes, okay? 11, though he humble himself and go crouching. Right, this is how they do it. Yeah, we understand things are getting expensive and, oh, it breaks my heart that these people are suffering. It's all bullshit, okay? Yet they take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Right. Okay? And we see through this devil. We see through, okay, his word salad. All right? That he is the devil the Bible speaks of. And who is that? Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Starting with the elites. Okay? And these everyday Edomite, average Edomites too. They're the devil too, okay? Because they support this shit, all right? They support this cesspool of a society. So let's continue with this because I want to show they show, which I want to show a graph of everything gone up in prices.
For example, there's a law in Arizona that prevents utility companies from shutting off power because of the death of an 82-year-old woman. Her name was Kate, who died in the sweltering heat. Talk to us about the danger.
Right. So say that law is not going to do shit. All they got to do is say, oh, sorry, okay, the power system went out of whack, even though it didn't. So, yeah, that's why there's a blackout. Just because they write laws doesn't mean it prevents them from being wicked. We're talking about the devil here, okay? They can easily say a transformer exploded, okay? Or due to the cold, okay, the power went out. That's how they can lie, even though they're siphoning the power to these data centers, all right? Stealing, okay? All right? Abusing. the power supply for their own wicked ambitions. And we already know what these data centers are. Surveillance. Surveillance. That's why, like the scriptures say, okay, be not ignorant. But certain Jakes are ignorant. They want to save an Edomite. They're talking about saving Edomites. They want to save the so-called white man. Okay. What is it? 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right. What is his evil plan? What is his thought? Right? You go into the devices, his thoughts, his mind. He wants his new world order. And part of his new world order, he wants to surveil everyone. Thought, evil purpose, right. He wants to have total surveillance, okay? Along with that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. And we're going to keep saying it over and 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 over again. If you don't like it, don't watch our videos. Go watch sports. You fucking moron. Okay?
For these people that might be living without then heat or cool.
Well, for families that don't have, say, air conditioning, for example, in the summer, we're learning more and more what happens, especially people in frail health, the elderly, disabled people, families with young children. If they can't afford the cost of summer cooling, for example, they won't turn it on because they're afraid of the bill. And the bills are getting higher every year.
Thanks to the Edomites, thanks to these data centers, okay? We're just going to go back into this article because it's this over the market monitor that's saying that the price keeps going up due to these data centers, okay? But you think these devils would say that? No. Because Fox News, okay, is a wicked news media organization, okay? They're wicked just like CNN, okay? They'll tell you all this shit is all these problems, but they don't tell you the root cause, all right? Because they're prostitutes. They work, all right, for the elites.
Winter heating is a little bit different because if you don't turn on your heat, your pipes can freeze. So people will keep sometimes the heat down at a very low level. Sometimes it's not even safe. You know, remember that half the families that receive Social Security in the United States have no other source of income. This is it, their Social Security check. When prices go up for, say, electricity, you have no other choice. You can't switch to something else.
Right, to monopoly. Okay, like down here we have FPL. I can't go to another electrical company. Okay, you're stuck with this electrical what's it called, company, because it's overseen by the same people. All right, so you can't switch out. This proves that America is not a capitalistic society. It's all lies. This place, when you really get down to the nitty and gritty, America is a fascist society. It is ran in fascism because that goes back to Rome. Okay? Period.
And so I think what we're learning as a society is that we have to think of ways to help low and moderate, even middle-income families now pay the cost of electricity. And they're going up in ways we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, Fox News polls we can pop up on the screen show the majority saying that costs have increased last year.
Yep, the Fox News polls. They can't hide it, okay? Majority say costs have increased since last year. Groceries, utilities, healthcare, housing, gas, right? Everything has gone up, okay? And it's going to go up even more. And you think this devil cares? No, all right? And that's why we're telling our people, it's high time to wake up out of sleep, man. Okay? You need to get to know your power. You need to repent. All right? Things are going to get a lot worse. Again, rolling blackouts are coming. All right? And it's looking like it's going to start hitting this region. So back to this article. So I wanted to bring that out. Okay? And we got lessons within lessons with that too. Who salvation is for. Who needs deliverance. Okay? Because who is this going to affect when the power goes out? Jake, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man, woman, and child, who are the biblical Hebrew Israelites. So let's get back into this article. No more PJM data centers unless they can be reliably served, market monitored. Okay, and again, PJM interconnection. Okay, here it is one more time. I don't know if I showed this. All right, where's it at? It's Pennsylvania, Jersey, Maryland interconnection, a regional transmission organization that operates the electrical transmission grid for all or part of 13 states in the District of Columbia. All right, and you already know what they're doing. They're siphoning all the power and giving it to Virginia, okay, and Maryland. You already know, okay, okay. Why Virginia? Because that's where the CIA, Langley, okay, Maryland. You got the Pentagon, okay. You already know. There's so many. They're siphoning all that energy from everybody else. Okay, so look, Delaware, District of Columbia, Illinois, Chicago. I keep saying, keep your eye on Chicago. Okay, Chicago is looking bad. Indiana, all right. Yeah, that's another failed state. Kentucky, Maryland, Michigan. Yep, Detroit, another failed city. You have Dearborn. Okay, remember Dearborn? The controversy that's going on over there between redneck Edomites and these Ishmaelites, these Arabs over there in Dearborn, Michigan. Coincidence why there's so much tension there? All right, they got to purge. They got to have a purging. Turn the power off. Take the lights out. New Jersey, dirty Jersey, North Carolina, Ohio. Oh, Pennsylvania. Reports are coming in how in Pittsburgh they don't have enough police officers. There's actually it's actually a crisis now. There's not enough police officers to police, okay, Pittsburgh. You women that live out there, all right, may God have mercy on your soul, all right. Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia, right. Okay, so now let's get into this article. It says the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission should tell the PJM interconnection that it can only add large data centers to its systems when they can be reliably served, according to a complaint filed Tuesday at the agency by the grid operator's Market Monitor, right? So you have the Market Monitor, which is an independent organization, all right, filed a complaint to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission saying, hey, look, you need to tell PJM interconnection they need to stop resurrecting these data centers, okay? They're not reliable, okay? What did PJM say? PJM is considering proposing to allow data center loads that it cannot serve reliably and that will require a periodic blackouts for data centers and other customers. You already know. Who are these other customers? Okay? The regular people. Monitoring analytics, the grid operator's Market Monitor said. That, quote, that result is not consistent with the basic responsibility of PJM, right, because they're supposed to be fair. They're not supposed to abuse, all right, the electrical market. What do they call it? What they oversee. All right, this is why, again, prices keep going up, and it's due to them abusing. Manage the electricity markets. That's right. And the wholesale electricity, and plan for region's future energy needs to ensure grid remains reliable and secure. Right. They're not going along with their policy. Okay. This is why, again, Ezekiel 3 and 17. Because a lot of you Jakes live here. You live in these states. All right. So that's it. And I'll just bring it down here. It says large data center loads additions in PJM have been driving up the transmission costs as well as energy and capacity prices, according to the Market Monitor. Right. This is why it keeps getting expensive. This is why the bill keeps going up. It's these data centers. And now they're just going to say, fuck it. Not only are you going to pay a high electricity bill, but we're going to do rolling blackouts. We're going to take out the power. Okay? Because the data centers are needed for their what? AI Genesis project. Now, mind you, who is overseeing the AI Genesis project? The Department of Energy. Okay? The Department of Energy oversees the nation's energy supply. So they're supposed to be the main ones. Like, nah, we have to make sure that people get adequate energy, adequate electricity, all right, for their homes. They're not even caring, okay? They're going along with the AI Genesis project because they want these people are in bed with the agenda. Okay, a lot of them are in. Okay, the higher ups are in secret societies. They're in these satanic meetings. They do all these rituals because they want their what? New World Order. And what is their New World Order? Total surveillance, total control with an RFID chip, the mark of the beast. Okay, so let me bring this scripture out right here because we gotta bring out the prophecies. Revelation 16:10, and the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seed of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pains. Right. So darkness is coming, just like what happened in ancient Egypt. Okay, the Lord put darkness in ancient Egypt for 3 days. Okay, the Lord, all right, is going to put darkness here in America. Okay, and you jakes that didn't want to repent, you're going to be okay. What's it called? You're going to be howling and crying out. Okay, because you don't want to take heed. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 15, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Right. And if you say you're a man of the Lord, you say you're serving Yahweh Shai, all right, then you need to be circumspect. Okay, you need to be wise, you need to understand what's coming. All right. So brothers that live in those states, prepare. Okay, brothers and sisters that do live in those states, prepare. Prepare your mind, prepare your spirit. Okay, if you've been doing the right thing, the Lord got you. Okay, 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Right, redeeming the time because the days are evil. We're coming into bad times. No power. Okay, which also confirms that, hey, we're not going to be teaching much longer. Okay, all these rolling blackouts. Okay, power goes out. You can't put up videos anymore. Okay, all right. Seventh, and that's why this teaching the words of Yahweh Shai, all right, it's only for a season, okay, because the Lord is speeding up the times because he wants to get his elect from the nation of Israel. Okay, you have to be an Israelite in order to be delivered and saved. 17, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. This is the will of the Lord. Okay. All right, he's bringing judgment to America, and by taking out the power is the ultimate judgment. Okay, yeah, and again, he's using Esau, Edom, which is the wicked, which is his sword, to do it. All right, because again, these data centers are the reason why the power is going to be going out, why there's going to be power outages, and they don't care. I came across these articles. They don't even give a damn about these celebrities. Power outage in Hollywood Hill creates city without lights. Like, when do you see power outages in Hollywood Hills? Okay? Where the celebrities live at. Think about it. You have power outages happening in multiple cities in Wyoming. It's these data centers. All right, so Lord willing, this is less edifying. Again, we're here to warn our people. All right, and we're doing it because we're getting the blood off our hand. Let me finish off. Let me read this one more time, and then I'll close out. Ezekiel 3, verse 17. Son of man, I made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. The Hebrew word for warning is ruai. Okay. Not ruai. Excuse me. That's alarm. The Hebrew word for warning is zahar. Okay, which means to admonish, warn. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Okay. Now the one for alarm is ruai. Let me get that because that's another precept. This is in the book of Joel, chapter 2. Joel, chapter 2. Just real quickly. Yep. Joel, chapter 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. There you go. This word alarm is Ruwai. Okay? Yep, this is it. See? Ruwai. Shout, raise a sound, cry out, give a blast. And that's what we're doing. Okay? And notice we're blowing the trumpet in Zion to the Israelites. What does Zion mean? Okay? To Zion, which means a monument. A monument for who? Okay? Israel, the Israelites, no one else. Let all the inhabitants of the land trouble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Right. Okay? So let's go back to Ezekiel. (18) When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die. So Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die as iniquity, but his blood will I acquire at thy hand. Right. And again, the Spirit's just been on me to talk about these blackouts, and I'm going to talk about them more because they're coming. All right. And a lot of you Jakes are going to be affected by it. You know, that's why it behooves you to serve the Lord. All right. Okay. So he can protect you. 19. Yet if thou warn the wicked and he turn not from his wickedness nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. And this is what we want. We want to be saved. Okay. So, Lord willing, this less edifying. Again, I came across this article. All right. You're having, what's it called? A organization, okay, PJM, that's supposed to distribute and be fair when it comes to the market of electricity, and they're disregarding their policy, and there's actual a complaint being filed against them, okay, and they don't give a damn. They're willing to have in their area rolling blackouts for these data centers. And this is why we're telling our people, you know, hey man, we're almost out of here, man. Just stay locked in. So, Lord willing, let's edify. I want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth of sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep it door, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying, pray without ceasing, pray for each other, pray for the apostle elders. Okay. Oh, pray for the brothers that live in those states. Okay. Put a prayers for the brothers. Okay. Baba Kusha. And for the few sisters that are watching, keep studying when you prepare to cover Shalom.